Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Whole Media Network.
You're goddamn right.
All right, well, I feel like for the first time in a little while, we don't have a big medical report to give to you guys. So obviously we got, it's the middle of an NFL season. There's plenty of maintenance and all that stuff, but anticipate, what we ended that game should look the same way going into this one. So I'll just open up for questions.
Just on the medical side of that, is that something that you kind of have experienced over your time, that early season, there are some of those nicks, bumps, and bruises, and then it kind of evens out at some point?
Every season takes a unique path, obviously. It's one of the somewhat uncontrolled variables of our league, and so we do have to navigate at times. And so, we have a lot of guys that are sore. A lot of guys, they've played 6 games in the NFL, and so they got to navigate that. But, I feel like our strength staff, our performance staff, our trainers, I think they're doing a really good job getting these guys healthy and ready to go.
Just from being able to have some time now to look over everything, can you tell us a little bit about what you came away from Spencer's performance?
Yeah, if you want to start with Spence, I thought, he made some plays downfield. I think we had a few explosive plays. Certainly the first play was a great play by him. I thought his pocket movement was phenomenal throughout the game, the entire game. First play was a great example of him subtly moving in the pocket, giving ourselves an opportunity to make that play. He had a really good scramble to Alvin on 3rd and 3, 4, somewhere in that range. I thought Spence did some really good stuff. I thought he was steady. He made really good decisions. I thought he operated at a really high level. And he certainly gave us a chance. And so, at the end of the day, collectively, we weren't able to create enough plays to win the game. And so I thought he did some good stuff.
Just facing over that 2024 quarterback class last week. You had another one coming up this week. You're coaching one of them. Like when you were going through looking at that class as a coach, scout, whatever, what were you thinking about going into that?
We certainly thought there was a lot of depth to that class. I was in Philadelphia, so we weren't necessarily digging into it the same way that, I think most other years I have, just because of where our roster was. We just traded for Kenny Pickett and we had Tanner McKee already. And so we already had 3 guys kind of in place. And so we didn't do the deep dive, but I did certainly watch those guys. And so, I think Drake's a great example of his development that he's going through. This year he's done a phenomenal job. I think Spence's taken a step. I think you can certainly see it, moving forward with Caleb. This is going to be another challenge of a guy who's getting better and better each week.
You kind of touched on it yesterday, but what do you make of the slow starts on defense? And you kind of mentioned the lack of urgency, or is it a lack of urgency? What do you kind of see it?
Well, I would say the first 2 plays are really good plays. So I don't think it's like we're not we're not ready for the game or anything. First play, excellent play. We get a couple, 2-3-yard stops. Second play, they run a draw. DeMario's right there, pounces on it. We got this awesome 3rd down opportunity to go 3 and out to start the game, and then we missed the op. We're not connected from a coverage standpoint. We got to do a better job there, and then they get the big explosive once they kind of cross the 50. And so, I don't think it's all bad. I think it's just, hey, we got to be really, really sound from the start, and we got to take advantage of every opportunity. And that's the thing that shows up is the big plays that impact the games could show up from play 1 to play 75. It doesn't really matter when it is. They all essentially have the same value, and so you got to take advantage of each opportunity you have.
All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being on the live. Welcome. And I'll rock it with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fan. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being on this Monday the Monday after. Saints hit 1-5. 10 good and bad items to kind of go over with the Who Dat Nation. We are in this thing. Y'all do me a service by please spiking upon that like button as we get going in this broadcast. Big ups to the fam, man. I'm up in this thing with the fam. So who that to all you guys? Good to see y'all out in the stream. Much love. GM Kev, Cartel, OG Jerry. Good to see y'all. Poppy 504, Swag Fan, Brother Clint, Trapstar 318. Big ups to y'all. What's up, Hemisphere? Big ups to you, man. Brother Jack Duke, Muse. What's up, Muse? Good to see you in the chat. Much love to the Queen and the Kings of the Coma. Much love to y'all, man. We up in this thing, fam. Listen, I see you, man. Kev starts it off by saying, Q, get Michael Irvin a wide receiver position with the Saints. He could work with the receivers. I think Michael Irvin is good right where he is. Yeah, but getting more people, man, to be honest with you, who are Hall of Fame ilk would definitely have an impact on your team, man. Get winners, man. Winners, please. Clint says our defense is schizophrenic. 5 turnovers 1 week, can't stop a thing the following week. Yeah, that's what a not too good team does. Hemisphere says, Q, we need to have a heart-to-heart conversation about these Saints. I know it's going to hurt me until he says, then it'll hurt you, but Olave has got to be benched. Valley time. Yeah, it's a lot of negative and positive things from Chris Olave. Drop passes galore. It's not going to help. I've not been quiet about the issues with the Saints. I've said constantly that the veterans are the reason why the team is not excelling. The veterans are hurting the team. The veterans are Chris Olave. The veterans are some of these offensive linemen. The veterans are some of these defensive players. The veterans are some of these special teams people. They're hurting the team currently. They really are. And it's a problem. And a lot of people thought that it would be the young people. In essence, it hasn't been the young people, has it? It's been the veterans. The veterans have really hurt us. Swag says next season is going to be epic. They just need a few young key pieces to complement our veterans. You can see it's there. Just good football. People taking their job serious and handling their damn business out. I would definitely appreciate that. What's up, Bev? Shout out to Bev. Brother Gundam's in this thing. St. Doug. What's up, bro? L Dub, big ups. He said, just saw that the Broncos just signed JT Gray off the Ravens practice squad to team up with Rizzy again. That's what makes special teams special players. All right, Jack asks, when do we talk about the Saints wide receiver coach? Because they just stink. Coach Williams is a good coach, man. You know, I don't know what to say about what's going on with the Saints, but man, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on. Just to be honest with you, you could throw a dart and hit the right thing and you'd be like, yeah, you're right. That's how bad. It's not one particular thing that's going awry for the Saints. It's a lot of foolishness. What's up, sucker free? Sure fine McKinstry, check soda McKinstry. You're absolutely right. Beverly, Crystal Light McKinstry. Y'all know we've been talking about this for a while. Kool-Aid prior to the Buffalo game, was it the Buffalo? No, the Giants game, was playing like Crystal Light McKinstry and all these other terms that people were talking about when they lined it up. And he had that one stellar game. And listen, this is not a knock on Kool-Aid or Crystal Light, but it's a moniker that you have to earn. You're not playing like Kool-Aid McKinstry. You're terribly flawed in that game against the New England Patriots. Keyshawn Butte showed his you know what, and Kool-Aid or Crystal Light couldn't do nothing to stop him. Like on the catch toward the sideline, he was beat from the word go. He let Keyshawn fire off the offensive line. Did not touch him at all. Let him get right into his route. Then proceeded to some kind of way maneuver himself around the back of Keyshawn, where he just made the catch and basically acted as a mattress for him to fall inbound to make the catch along the sideline. Like that's just awful, man. Awful technique. He's a young guy. He's going to get better, man, but they are tearing him up right now. And he had the defensive player, but the key to it is putting that all together on a week to week basis, not just you stink 3 games and then boom, you have defensive player of the week. Then you go right back to what you were the previous games. It's upsetting and maddening, but the people are right. So all of the nicknames, keep coming up with them, man. The dude, you got to play better. That stinks, man. Dr. Key, what's up, Dr. Key says Michael Irvin and Mickey needs to report to mental health issues. LOL. Yeah, I think Michael Irvin just got triggered by a dumb comment by some guy talking out the side of his mouth. It was just really insane for him to get that mad and that worked up. Was just off-putting. You know, I'm sitting up there laughing and he just going off talking about the mist of pain and all. Hey, listen, bro, you played a very difficult sport. You know, let's put this in contrast. You wasn't fighting in war, dude. You know, he wasn't running through the battlefield with bullets flying, bro. I mean, you played football with some very tough football players that was going to knock you into next week, but they had smelling sauce. They would have woke your ass up the next few seconds, you know. So it was, you know, let's just keep it in contrast. In the midst of pain, I was about to say that ball was. She should have signed up for the WWE after that spiel. But big ups to you, fam. Appreciate y'all. What's up? He said, I'm gonna be honest. I think Elvin is half stepping. A lot of the Saints are, bro. It's a shame. Duke says too many drop passes. We're doing bad crucial times in games. They seem to make, he says, can't make winning plays. That's what happens with the Saints. Saints be in these games. Sugar water McKinstry. Yeah, they're in these games until they're not, man. And they're not in the game until the crunch time comes when somebody needs to make a play and they can't make the play. They were actually leading in the game against the New England Patriots. They were beating them by 2 points and then proceeded not to do anything else from an offensive standpoint that was worth anything for the rest of the game. So the tape is evident, man. Booker says it's hard to cover a receiver when the QB has 8 seconds to throw Q. Nah, bro, that was just bad. You know, maybe you're referencing a few catches or whatnot, but some of the plays where the guys was throwing at Kool-Aid McKinstry and they had the guy was just cooking them, especially Kayshawn. When Kayshawn was catching the ball, he was their top guy. Kool-Aid covering him more than a handful of times. And what basically happened is Kool-Aid, there was no excuse for poor technique. There's no excuse for poor technique. You know, you firing off, you supposed to cover that guy. It was one-on-one. And he was out of position on several of those throws where he was not able to he didn't put himself in position to make a throw on the ball. So, I mean, you can go look at the plays itself, bro. It can't get away from it. There's no excuse for poor play from any of these players. You know, putting yourself in a bad position like that is suspect. Gundam says, question Q, what do you think of the 34 defense? I mean, I love to see more of it, but a lot of what we're seeing ain't the 34, is it? You seeing a lot of what? You seeing a lot of these 4-2-5 packages or a modified nickel package, the modified nickel packages that we've been seeing? I mean, we're sporadically seeing the 34, but most of the time, what we looking at? You're looking at a 4-2-5. You'll have 2 linebackers on the field, 4 down linemen, and the rest of defensive backs. Every now and again, he'll cycle in a linebacker and you'll have 3 linebacker look, but the majority of the time, it's out of a modified nickel front or a 4-2-5. You know, so it's mixing it up. The issue with the Saints defense is that they're not getting any pressure, not consistent pressure on the people. There's a lot of other stuff going on. You can't let quarterbacks stand back there and get a rhythm. The man was like, 6 or 7 or 6 straight passes completed, but he was in a rhythm. It's a rhythm game. When you jam receivers, like this whole thing with Kool-Aid and the scheme, he has to be allowed to jam guys at the line of scrimmage. Kool-Aid McKinstry has to be allowed to jam guys at the line of scrimmage. He has to be jamming people at the line of scrimmage. Throws off the timing of the route and buys maybe, you know, maybe a half a second, a quarter of a second for your defender to make his way to the quarterback. We have to find a way to disrupt the timing of these offenses. Playing our guys 5 to 10 yards back is a stupid use of their ability. Allow them to cover naturally. Staley needs to change and adjust his game plan. It's as simple as that, bro. You really do. What's up, Poppy? Shout out to you, man. Chantel, what's up, Chantel? All right, what's up, Bird Talk? Big ups to you. All right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's simplified, bro. Listen, man, let me tell you something, man. Michael Irving was funny. That was funny video, right? I reacted to it, and I was bucking the eyes and everything because this dude wigging out. But you could tell that he has PTSD type symptoms. I ain't laughing at the symptoms, I'm just saying. Him pointing at the camera and cussing at the guys. And, in the midst of, I'm like, this dude here. Then he busts that 3-6 Mafia. He says, I don't give a damn. I was like, look at this boy, I'm about to start rapping over here. DJ Paul looking ass. But at the end of the day, all I can say, man, is that, it was good film. But he didn't say no lies. Michael Irvin was talking truth. He was talking truth in a very funny and historical, passionate, out of his mind way. All right, Bird Talk. What's up, fam? Says you have to be crazy to keep going. That's right. Mad Drum says, Q, do you hear the Bengals called Derek Carr? Good luck to him. Derek Carr didn't want to play for the Saints. The Saints, the Who Dat Nation did not want Derek Carr in its totality. Good luck to them. Good. Go and take it. You can have him. Go ahead on up there. He's the guy that skirts responsibility. He run. I just think I don't think much of the man as a football player. I think he talks too much and don't do much, and they paying him he made way too much money to barely have a 500 record with the Saints. I just think it was a laughable piece of garbage joke, and probably the worst. It is definitely the worst free agent acquisition the Saints ever had was to bring him down here and pay him that kind of money, and it ended really stupidly and ugly. Not even professionally did it end. So that's my little spiel on that. And if they want him, they can have him, bro. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. All right, Sucker Free said, what's up with Juwan Johnson? He's too big to play. So that's Juwan Johnson, bro. Take the money and run like the old country song. Take the money and run. Yeah, that song, that's Juwan Johnson. Take the money and run. It's the same Juwan Johnson we seen last year. No improvement. We were kind of asking and promoting for Juwan Johnson to turn it up and do better. But he took the money and ran, bro. He took the money and ran. That must be his favorite song that he plays that in his truck as he's driving home and driving to the Saints facility. Take the money and run. That's what he did. He took the money and run. He did not improve his technique. He did not improve, in my estimation, based on what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the same guy I seen last year with heavier pockets, $10 million richer. All right, Chantel said they traded the Browns and got Flacco. They wanted Sanders, but the Browns told them no. The Browns are keeping Shador Sanders. They're keeping Shador, and it's they're not going to give him an opportunity to do anything. It's a shame, but it simply is what it is. They figure him in the future of the team, probably not this year, but when you're 1-5, all things are out there. So. The cold-blooded players, you might see Deshaun Watson play before Shador Sanders playing. That's wow. What's up, Black Major? Shout out to you. Zero pass. That's right. Sucker free, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right. Much love. Okay, it's Muse. Shout out to you, Muse. You have a good rest of your night. All right. What's up, Hoffa? Big ups to my dog, Hoffa. Says, nah. He says, yeah, nah, keep it real. Now, yeah, I'm going to keep it real, bro. Y'all know I am. V. Griffin, shout out to you. Uncle Paulie says Coach Kellen is over his head. He needs John Gruden, Mike Martz to give him some football advice. He needs to take it. Uncle Paulie, first of all, shout out to you. Good to see you, brother, in the building. And listen, man, I said that. I think Kellen Moore, me personally, I like Kellen Moore. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think Kellen Moore is a good football mind. It's not working right now because he just doesn't know his personnel well enough to put him into whatever Nussmeier is running. It's quite obvious there's a disconnect between the scheme that they have in their heads and the talent. It's not meshing consistently, right? We having problems trying to get the Saints offense to some kind of way, figure out a way to have some synergy and harmony and chemistry with the scheme that they're visualizing. And I think what it is when you have issues like that, I think Nussmeier needs to go to his offensive guys, and Nussmeier needs to kind of get their intake on the plays that they really like that have potential, and the ones they don't need, they need to throw it out. And he needs to wrap this offense around these players, because you have the players and personnel. The scheme ain't working. It's a disconnect somewhere along the line where this is football. It shouldn't be this difficult to play football, man. It shouldn't be this difficult and such a struggle to make catches and make throws and make tackles week to week. And these guys are practicing, and listen, they don't just put the helmet on every Sunday. And although it looked like it some days, they're supposed to be practicing all throughout the week before they even get to the game on Sunday. And this is what you get. A team that's averaging 18 points a game, that consistently drops the ball, fumbles the ball, miss tackles, take poor angles, not get pass rush. And at some point, you get into where we are 7 weeks into the season. You're still talking about cleaning things up. Ain't nothing left to say, man. Ain't nothing left to say. He's starting to get like an old record. So I definitely agree. He needs to get an older coach to come in and kind of give him the game, man. Spend some of that money. Mickey Loomis has. He don't have a problem spending Gail's money. She don't know what to do with it. Hemisphere says, Q, I listen to Underhill. Shout out to Nick. He talked about the Saints defense. He made a good point. What does the Saints have on defense that can make a crucial play when they need it? I mean, the Saints have people on that defense that can make a crucial play when they need it. I mean, they got good players on that defense that can make it. Carl Granderson can make a crucial play when they need it. Let's see what else. Granderson make a crucial play when they need it. Alante Taylor can make a crucial play when they need it. Hell, if you put Kool-Aid McKinstry in a good position, he can make a play for you. So, like I said, there are players that can make a difference for you if you put these players in position to make a difference for you. This is the context. That if you're a team, if you're a coach, your job is to, by all accounts, put your personnel in a position to win. This is stuff that we hear all the time. Coaches make and say about how to win games, putting people in the proper places to win. The Saints are not doing that. They're not putting these people in position to win. If you have Quincy Riley, these are young guys. Quincy Riley, if you remember watching the tape, Quincy Riley is a good young cornerback. So is Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's really struggling right now. And Alante Taylor showed you he could play the position too. These guys can play. They can play. You have to be able to put them in the position where they can win. Playing them 5 and 10 yards off the wide receivers, then letting the people catch the ball and running up trying to tackle them is foolish. You got to change that up. And allowing these quarterbacks to get in a consistent rhythm week after week is a stupid-ass philosophy that I really curse at Staley about and demanded he adjust and change this and allow these men to play more man-to-man at least. They getting burned in the zone, bro. Switch it up and let them put hands on these damn wide receivers and stop letting these wide receivers run past them unabated. These guys running right past them and getting right into their route. There's no disrupting of that. This is stupid. You got to change that or mix it up a lot more than what we're doing. You got to do something different. That's why a lot of these coordinators, man, these coordinators have a major issue, especially the offensive coordinator for the Saints, Nussmeier, a.k.a. Fire Marshal Bill. Dude having all kind of problems. Mad Drum says, Q, to be honest, you think we should have a sale on all players and try our best to stack up a few first for a few years. It sounds interesting, and this is the type of conversation you would have if your team is 1-5. You'll look at a fire sale, say, okay, well, Cam Jordan, who wants to finish his year, Cam only got 1 year left. DeMario Davis got 1 year left. That people say, okay, Q, we got to get rid of these guys, this kind of guy, this type of thing. That's interesting, and that's a thought that, in a conversation you should have to see what's out there. But in the end, Mickey Loomis is not going to do anything. Y'all do know that, right? I don't, sometimes people like to, go to the fairyland where you have the tooth fairy and the headless Halloween monster, the pumpkin dude with him and Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, wherever they meet for tea and whatever, sitting down eating brunch. They'll go and have these conversations where these people live at, which is still a fantasy because Mickey Loomis is not doing all that. Mickey Loomis is not going to trade Cam Jordan. You're not going to trade DeMario Davis. You're not going to trade Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara and all these other guys I just mentioned are going to end their careers here in New Orleans. Mickey Loomis is not going to do anything. There is no pressure except for what you put on Mickey Loomis. Gail Benson is somewhere shopping right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's somewhere shopping right now, buying a new Rolls Royce or whatever she got to do, or taking a trip to Antarctica some damn well. I don't know. She just all over. She's totally not putting any pressure on Mickey Loomis. And that's the problem with the team. You got to, in a lot of these decisions, somebody have to pay for them, and nobody's paying for them. See? So some of this stuff has to be talked about at the end of the day. They allow him to do whatever you want, screw the team up or whatever. They're not putting anything on that guy to make him do better. They're not doing anything. So I don't think they're going to be in a situation where these older players will be traded for anything. That makes sense in a commonsensical reality. And truthfully, most of these guys should not be here if the team's not winning. If the team's not winning, you got to go. If the team's not winning, some of these guys have to be traded for the betterment of the future of the team. But if you're not going to win this year, you have to use this as a springboard. And by all accounts, I'm not saying the Saints are not going to make the playoffs. They're not mathematically eliminated as it stands at week number 7. Isn't it 7? 1-5? Yep. This is week 7. Hell, I didn't forgot. So in week number 7 right now, we're not mathematically eliminated, but only 4 teams in NFL history ever made the playoffs in the 80 plus years, I think, of pro football. Only 4 teams made the playoffs that started 1-5. It's a very rare feat. Not saying the Saints could do it. They can, win a few games here or there, but it's extremely unlikely that the Saints will go to the playoffs this year. Is what I'm saying. If out of the 80 something odd years, 80 plus, however the low in the NFL is, out of how old the league is, fam? Almost 100 years old? Well, how old the league is? I don't know. Out of the 80 something odd years or the 60 years or whatever old the league is, there's only 4 teams in NFL history ever to start the season at 1-5 and go to the playoffs. 4 teams. So I would say that is not an impossible feat, but it is a very rare feat to accomplish. And, you got to be able to know what's going on, and you have to face it. It's just real deal spill, man. We got to know what we are. All right, yeah. Paul says, QA, the way they went away from Taysom Hill, he gave the offensive spark. That's on the coordinator. I said that at the end of the show, man. I was like, fam, I gave the real game. I continue to get a real game. Some people don't want to hear it. His family. The Saints are just not smart enough. They're not disciplined enough, and they're not smart enough, man. And then the cold-blooded part is the veterans are supposed to know better. Matt Jones says, "Who you think they're doing this to get Shuck in?" No, they don't have to do nothing to let Shuck get in. They don't have to sabotage nothing to let Shuck get in. This is a Saints schematic situation where they just thought things was going to work a certain way, and it didn't work, and they're not going about it in the correct way to fix it. I mean, they're too east to west and not enough north to south. It shouldn't be that difficult for guys. We know that Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed catch these passes all the time. Why is it so freaking hard to throw the ball downfield when the New England Patriots was just taking shots at the Saints like the world was ending and having success? Just taking shots at the Saints. Dude was just rear back, just throwing a damn ball down the field on the Saints. Just throwing it at their asses. It's just one of them things. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, anyway, let me keep it going, man. Big ups to y'all. All right, he said, is it 18 games now? Okay, all right, there you go. JT says, Q, I think we are competitive, but next year we must be in the playoffs. Well, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. It shouldn't be that difficult. 104 years, Duke. All right. 105 years old. Is it really that old? At 104, 105, I didn't realize it was that old. But sheesh, 1920. Okay, 1920. There you go. 100 in the 100 plus years of NFL football, there have been 4 teams that were started off 1-5 and made the playoffs. Just let your mind think about that powerful stat for a second. You see? All right. The fact that analysts still think Ravens can make the playoffs, the Saints can't, and we've been playing better than them. Yeah, but the Ravens have most of their guys, their big guys, their big guns are hurt. Once those guys get back, and they're going to get back, they know that they'll gel and get it done. That's the whole thing that they're talking about. What's that to say about the Saints? Swag said, "What's wrong with what's wrong with us being the 15 to make the history?" Hey man, like I said, there's a chance. It's a rare chance, but at the end of the day, it simply is what it is. All right. Anyway, fam, we started the broadcast off here, and as you can see right here on the screen, you know, we for those who are watching the game tonight, 2 games are happening on Monday night, and both of them are very interesting contests because, for one, the Saints have they got a NFC South team there with the Buffalo Bills and the Falcons. Right now, you can see the score right there. Let me see if I can refresh that to make sure that score is great. Yeah, right now you can see the score. The Falcons are holding on right now. Falcons holding on right now, and they are marching with the ball. They're up 21-14. Falcons can go to 3-2 with a win over the Buffalo Bills, the team the Saints recently lost to. And of course, you look at the Bears. The Bears are right now at halftime 13-7 over the Commanders. The Bears is the next team that the Saints will play coming up on the short week. They have the Bears on the short week, and we got to travel to Chi-Town to see if we can get the second win of the season. So we'll just be looking out to see if we can handle that business, right? That's all we need to be concerned about. All right, anyway, man, let's keep this thing going, man, because right here I got on screen right here, fam, stats on screen about the rankings currently of the New Orleans Saints. You can see the team ranked through 6 weeks of NFL action. You can see, let me see if I can superimpose it for the family members so they can see the grander view of it. As you can see right here, the team, 6 through 6 games, they scored 111 points, 1,832 total yards on 384 plays. They average almost 5 yards per play, 657 yards, they're saying that's ranked there. So a total rushing attack right there, right? Attempts on 166, that's a 4-yard average. 1236 on a pass off of 207 attempts, and the passing average at 6 yards per throw, and he was sacked 11 times. So we basically going to go over some of this stuff just to kind of reference you that the Saints points, 111 points, is ranked 25th in the NFL. The passing yards is 19th in the NFL over 1,800. The plays is ranked 6th. So the Saints plays are up there. They're top 6. Not showing up the average in terms of yards right there on the rush is 27th in the league. That total rush attack is ranked 15th. The attempts are very high. It's just, we're middle of the pack. High attempts, middle of the pack in terms of the rushing attack. You can see the yards per rush is 23rd. The passing yards is 21st with over 1,200 of them. The passing attempts are very high. Listen, the passing attempts are 8th in the NFL, top 10. The averaging 6 yards per throw, that's 28. So they have the pass attempts. It's just you're not stretching the field. This is one of the stats that I'm showing you. As you can see, you're not stretching the field. You have a lot of pass attempts, but you're averaging 6 yards per pass attempt, which is 28th in the NFL out of 32 teams. That's not good. Sacked 11 times, that's middle of the pack. As you can see right there, the first downs, 120 first downs, which is good for 12th in the NFL. Rush on first downs is 41, which is positive. That's 9th. And then you see the rest of these statistics right here. Penalties off of first downs first right there. And the penalty yards, you can see, is 24th. The penalties is 50. They got 50. Is that right? 50 penalties according to Mewstat. But this is some of the stuff that I wanted to go over with you guys in terms of what we see from the New Orleans Saints offense. You can see Spencer's Rattler's numbers is 139 completions over 203 attempts and 68.5 percentage right there. 1,217 total yards. He averaging almost 203 yards per game, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, rating of 9, almost 92 grade there. So, and of course, Rattler he's third on the team in rushing at 143 scrambles, averaging 4.3 yards per scramble on 26 attempts. So Spencer is turning in very positive statistics if you look at that. It's just the rest of these stats are not where you will want it to be. We need more production there. They got to really help the man out, offensively speaking, to do better. And right now, Spencer's numbers are not bad numbers. It's just not enough. and he's not the only piece to it, but my goodness, we have to do better than this. And averaging 18 points a game gets you one win. When you get another touchdown in some of these other games, you definitely pick up at least 2 or 3 more wins on the season, and you're at least in the race. 1-5 is a disaster, man. It's an absolute unmitigated disaster. So that's some of the things we have to change. Now, let me go over this, fam. With the Saints loss to the Patriots on Sunday, here's 10 good and bad things from the game, right? Let's start with the good first, right? Spencer Rattler, in the first half of the game, he showed some improvement in the first half. He was 20 of 26, 220 something yards, 26, 27 yards, something like that. And then he was making plays with his leg. So that is positive, right? This is the positive Spencer Rattler. So you're seeing growth with your young quarterback. The pass protection, the offensive line provided good pass protection for Rattler, giving him time in the pocket. Cesar Ruiz came back, and all he needed was a dose of get your ass in gear medicine provided by Torrey Sally Simpkins III. He came running back into the lineup and thought that you have a first-round grade, which guarantees you a spot when an undrafted man is outperforming you. He got his ass in gear and did a very solid game, a lot better than what we've seen from Cesar Ruiz over the past. He put a more complete game into focus. He was locked in and played a solid game. You got to give Ruiz something. He wasn't perfect, but he played a solid game. The run defense, Saints run defense was decent against the Patriots, limited them to just 47 on 24 carries, right? The Taysom Hill touchdown was 1 yard run on the short successful place was a positive. The problem was, and we're going to get into the bad side of it a little later, but we need more of that. If you have Taysom, Elvin, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and others, you have all of your offensive dynamos. You need to be able to get those guys going consistently, right? Number 5, Blake Grupe. Blake Grupe had a solid performance. He connected on all 4 of his field goals in the 54-yarder. Now, Blake Grupe was getting a lot of stuff from a lot of people and well-deserved. He missed 5 field goals up to last game and was really not looking that well. He kind of locked in, and he went 4 for 4 in the game on Sunday. That is a positive. Number 6, another 6. I got 10 of them for y'all that I'm going to go over. 6, the offensive flow, right? Now, what I mean by that is the Saints showcased moments of with flow of offense, particularly with the second drive, which emphasized the short passing game, and then they had some run pass options they had going on. So momentary offensive flow. The problem is having it to happen consistently is something that we need to see. So you did see momentary flows of offense when it needed to happen, right? Number 7, generating pressure on Drake May. The defense was able to generate some pressure on Drake May. Didn't translate to much, but they did have a few plays when they was able to flush him from the pocket or kind of move him around a bit, but they just didn't get home when they needed to. All right, Chris Olave's big play. The game started with the 53-yard completion from Spencer Rattler to Chris Olave. The pass was underthrown. If the ball was put out ahead of him and he can run up on it, it might have been a different effect, but that was a very positive play. They were able to connect there. Alvin Kamara's receiving yards. Running back Alvin Kamara moved into the 5th place all-time in the receiving yards in the Saints franchise. That was positive as an individual accolade, but nonetheless, it was positive. And, of course, the final of the 10 good things was the resilience despite difficult situations. The team contributed to fight hard in some of these close games. They lost the game, but they were in there like 25-19. They weren't blown out, but it's times when the game is at hand. Like I said, in this game, the Saints actually had the lead and just could not pull out the big play, get the big strike, get the touchdown to drive the game. You had everything. You had the crowd in the building on your side. You had all your elements there. All your playmakers and game changers were available, And despite having all that, they were schematically unable to generate another touchdown to take the game away from the Buffalo Bills. Excuse me, I keep saying the Buffalo Bills because that's a game we should have won too. The game against the New England Patriots. Also, a third caveat I want to throw in there to you, family. Also, a third caveat to throw in there is the fact that the Saints, the referees had a lot of really favorable calls for the Saints in this one. You know, a lot of favorable calls for the Saints in this one. The referees had some favorable calls in this one for the Saints and in this past one. So, you know, that's when you heard there's videos I could play from Vrabel, Mike Vrabel, talking about the calls that was made against his team in the Superdome against the referees. He probably gonna catch a fine for it, but he was speaking his mind. It was some good calls for the Saints. Let's just keep it all the way funky with that, right? So outside of that, that's some of the positives that we seen in the game, right? That's some of the positives we seen in the game. Of the game, right? We're just talking about positives, the good and the bad. That's the good. Now that I gave you the good, let's talk bad, right? Every Sunday is what we do the Monday after. We give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't need to give you the ugly because the bad and the bad and ugly is damn same in this circumstance. The Saints' pass defense struggled. The pass defense, particularly the secondary, struggled significantly against Drake May, who had a strong first half. They were thrown at repetitively. They gave up 2 deep strikes, multiple deep throws and touchdowns that he just tore them into 2. They were just lost, discombobulated, poor tackling, bad angles, whatever you want to talk about. He sliced and diced the secondary, which was actually statistically the strength of the team in terms of coming into this game and play. Usually the guys up front struggled, but the secondary just got tore up by Drake May. Inconsistent red zone performance. The Saints continues to struggle in the red zone. We know about this, scoring touchdowns less than 42% of the time in the red zone trips. That has to change. I think they got in the red zone twice this game. There were 1 or 2 in the red zone. But the Saints is just the struggles, man. It's figuring it out, and it's sitting up here from week to week, can't figure out how to win in the red zone. Number 3, failure to finish defensive plays. Despite generating the pressure, the defense failed to finish plays in the backfield. That means they're not getting home. Like if you getting pressure, you're creating pressure. Like I call it dumb pressure, which means if you are pressuring the quarterback, but you do not contain the quarterback when you're pressuring him, you just squeeze him out of the pocket and he shoots right out the center and picks up 5, 10, 15, 20, 30-yard slide on you. That's dumb pressure. If you're going to blitz or you're going to pressure the quarterback, you have to pressure and contain, pressure and contain, pressure and contain. Contain the quarterback in the bubble and pressure him into a sack. That the Saints are not sacking the quarterback nearly enough, especially in this game. We're not getting to him nearly enough, and the pressure's not making an impact seriously to the offense to cause them any headaches or knock them off a rhythm. It just didn't happen in this game. This guy kind of got what he want when he want. All right, so not getting home. Lack of sustained drives, right? The offense struggling to sustain drives, settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. That's the MO of the Saints this entire season up to this point, settling for field goals as opposed to touchdowns, right? You know, putting Blake Grupe in a situation where he got to kick so many field goals because the offense stinks. The offense can't win in the red zone. Offense can't convert. I don't know what's the stat on 3 and outs, but the Saints got to be in the top 10 in the damn stat. It has to be because they cannot sustain drives. They don't finish with touchdowns, and that's why they're 1-5. Untimely mistakes, crucial mistakes such as the fumble by Juwan Johnson, the drop pass by Chris Olave, hampers the scoring drives. The Saints, the fumble with Juwan Johnson, I believe the Saints were literally marching to a score. I think if the Saints, he would not have fumbled that ball, I think the Saints would have scored on that drive in which he fumbled. It killed all the momentum, and basically that wiped out the Saints for the rest of the game after he fumbled the fucking ball away. So the Chris Olave drop right there when they're marching these veterans. Once again, the mantra is we're talking about veterans hurting the team. This is what I'm talking about. I've been saying it for some time now this season that the veterans are not handling their business. These veterans are not handling their business. Spencer Rattler threw the fucking ball. Excuse me. I'm starting to get worked up because this is football. These guys are making too much money. Juwan Johnson is making $10 million a year for basically the same bullshit we've seen from him the last couple of years. We're paying this guy to be the same dude he was last year. He has not improved one iota. He's doing the same dumb, shaky, garbage bullshit that he did last year, which is concentration drops, dropping passes, fumbling the ball, missing blocks, and picking up penalties. I'm so tired of Juwan Johnson always on tape hurting the damn team. I'm so tired of him hurting the team with these plays. His stupid ass fumble caused the Saints that killed their drive, and I really actually think they were marching to scoring their drive. That drive actually has some sort of momentum on it. So it's these veterans are hurting the team. They're hurting the team bad, and they're costing us wins because in the clutch moments of the games, these people that's making all this money or want to make all this money are not bringing in the play, and I don't want to hear it no more from these guys. Talking about we need to play better. Miss me with that. This is not, you're not Dr. Key. You're not Dr. Gray. You're not doing anything that's extremely difficult. You're a football player. All you do is work out every damn day. You get paid. You're supposed to catch a ball. That's a children's game. That's not nothing deep about it. They try to muddle up the language to make it complex so the other guy can't recognize what you're saying. But if you study film, you can pick up the rhythm of that too. But the reality is this is a child sport. It shouldn't be that difficult for these people who making all this money to catch a ball or to block people in front of them, man. Your job is to work out, lift weights, and work. If you can't catch the goddamn ball, you should be on the jug machine. What's the purpose of going through all of these fumble drills if all you're going to do is drop the goddamn ball, right? And if he hit his goddamn head on the ground and he got concussed, he showed it and he got up, his ass was in there the next play. He showed you, get it. He said, well, Juwan, he hit the ground head first, Q, and he got concussed. He was in there the next play. He didn't get concussed. He didn't, but he didn't even realize the damn ball was gone. You seen the replay? What'd he do when we got up? He grabbed his helmet, adjusted his helmet. He didn't even realize, though, he didn't look for the ball. He didn't realize the ball was gone. He thought he was down. But the reality is, looked at the replay, said the man fumbled. That killed. That was it for the Saints. That was it. These veterans continue to hurt the team. They continue to hurt the team, and and it might be too late. The kicking game flaw, penalty for illegal kick by led to a shorter field goal by the Saints. They only touchdown drop. The kicking game flaw by the Pats led to the Saints having a shorter field, which they were able to take advantage of, which was the Taysom Hill situation. Giving up big passing plays allowed several big plays for the Patriots. The third down struggle. Saints were 3 of 9 on third downs. Difficulty keeping drives alive. Another one is the poor offensive pass interference calls. It affected both teams, but the questionable offensive pass interference calls went against the Saints, and that negated big plays. So it just goes bad. The referees tear you up when you're a dumb team and you're a losing team. They penalize you more. You don't get the winners calls because you're a loser. You're carrying loser energy, and that's what the Saints are. They're carrying a loser energy. Football, it shouldn't be this difficult to play football and to catch deep plays. Think about it. It shouldn't be that difficult. Season of close losses. Saints add to the frustrating pattern of close one-score losses for this season. It's just ridiculous. The one score, but this speaks to the clutch nature or the non-clutch nature of the Saints. And like the reporter asked that about so many of these close game losses is talking about the fact, it's just bad luck why the Saints can't finish the game. It's not bad luck. You make your luck. You make your circumstances. You make your fortune. The reality is the Saints are not doing that. They're not grasping the game or taking possession of the game when the time comes. They had an opportunity to beat the Buffalo Bills. They were within striking distance and didn't do nothing and let the game flitter away. Drop passes, turnovers. It's just the same thing we've seen in this game. And the Giants basically were so error prone. The Saints had no choice but to take the game from the Giants. The Giants fumbled the ball all in front of the Saints defenders. Jackson Dart literally dropped the ball right in front of Cam. And Cam just if you're having so many difficult losses where you losing by one game, one score here or there, you're not a clutch team. And that means that the Saints are actually squandering opportunities and possessions and opportunities to take the game from these people. They're squandering. They have, if you go back and watch these games, the Saints had drives where they could actually have done it. And whether they dropped touchdown passes like the Arizona game, Juwan Johnson, or the next game with Chris Olave and all this kind of stuff. Drop touchdown passes, drop converting third down balls, fumbling the ball, offensive line missing blocks that result in sacks on third down and fourth down. All that's happening. All that's happening. You cannot look at one place on a team and say that's the problem. That's a bad team. A bad team, you have several things going wrong at the same damn time. And that's what's happening with the Saints. There's no pinpointing one thing and say if you fix that, you fix the team. No, they have things going wrong all over the place. All over the place. The offensive line is not as strong as it's supposed to be, not as together as it's supposed to be. They had a better performance this game. The wide receivers who supposed to be veterans, dropping passes, fumbling the ball, stumbling, looking stupid. They're not blocking as well as it's supposed to be. And oh my God, the play calls throughout the weeks have been suspect at best. The IQ of picking and using your offense to adjust to what the defense is doing is almost non-existent. If they're in single man fronts, safety fronts, single man high, and the safety is around the linebacker or the defensive line level, and you're not making them pay for blitzing, what are we doing? We're not. This whole thing is happening. I've never seen such a poor way that a team would lose like they losing because it's discipline, no discipline, very low discipline and low IQ football. You're 1-5, and we're gonna all of a sudden magically appear. It's nothing magical about it. You have to fix these issues, but I said this the other day. For you to fix these issues, you got to know what these issues are first. Do they know what these issues are? And are they willing to fix them? Do they have the answers? The point is they spend a whole damn season looking for the answers and they right in front of their face. None of this shit is difficult. None of it is. It really isn't. This is not astrophysics. This is not quantum physics. This is nothing complicated. This is a child game known as football that grown-ass mugs is playing. None of this is complicated. Don't let them sell you that old BS and that old bullshit. It comes down to effort and energy and wanting to win the game. And these people don't have a fire in their gut to want to take the game away from their adversaries. That's why they 1-5. They don't have it. Look at this loser way they walk around. This loser and this dumbness, man, this stupidity, these pre-snap penalties, this non-accountability. These people don't have a fire in their stomach. And these old-ass veterans, they probably all burnt out. The DeMario Davises and the Cam Jordans, these are old burnt-out-ass people. They all burnt out. They don't have no fire in their gut no more. They're on the back end of their careers. So, I mean, if you're looking for from people from that ain't going to cut it. So, I mean, in the end, man, listen, I'm just telling you the truth, man. You know, this is a team that I've watched for many years, and I'm telling you, this team don't have any fire in their gut. They don't have it. You know, and it's sad. All right, listen, fam. That's a few things I want to talk to you about. Also, listen, that's my takes on that. Let's kind of move this thing to the trade talk. Now, I've not talked about the trade stuff, but here it is, right? This is one of the articles. Saints expected to get trade interest in several players, including wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. At the end of the report about Saints running back Alvin Kamara telling the team he did not want to be traded, NFL media's Ian Rappaport mentioned several other Saints players who either have drawn interest and are expected to draw interest ahead of the NFL trade deadline, right? That list, and that's the first week of November, by the way, which is we got about 2 weeks left. That includes number one, Rashid Shaheed, Number 2, Carl Granderson. Number 3, Pete Werner. And number 4, Dylan Raduns. Rappaport says, time will tell how receptive Mickey Loomis is to trade interest, as he still wants to try and remain competitive, even though New Orleans is clearly rebuilding. He adds Loomis is sensitive to the idea that the team is conducting a fire sale, believing it hurts morale. Mickey Loomis don't know what morale is. Is it if it said, hey, Mickey, and walked right up to him and kicked him in the nuts and then slapped him in the face and then grabbed him by the breeches of his pants and proceeded to introduce him to the first mud puddle in the street. He would not know that. However, Rappaport said the Saints open into a trading a player if the value is too much to turn down, as was the case last year when they traded away Lattimore before the deadline for a third-round pick. The Saints are 1-5 to start the season and could use more picks for the future as they work their way out of years of being tight against the cap. Shaheed is the player on the list who will likely draw the most interest, and he is in the final year of his contract as well. He's 27, went undrafted back in 2022 out of Weber State, where he was a 4-time All-American as a kick returner. He caught on with the Saints and scored a 44-yard rushing touchdown NFL debut on his first carry. He then scored on a 55-yard touchdown pass on his first career reception. Shaheed was tendered by the Saints as an exclusive rights free agent before signing a new extension in lieu of a restricted free agent tender. He's due $4.2 million in 2025 and set to be an unrestricted free agent again in 2026. In 2025, Shaheed appeared in 6 games for the Saints and caught 26 passes on 36 targets for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll have more on the Saints ahead of the NFL trade deadline as the news is available. So that's from NFLTR. That's basically talking about some of the players that the Saints are potentially looking at trading. Once again, I discussed some of this in early in the broadcast about Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis is a guy that lacks vision. Mickey Loomis is a major problem with the Saints in terms of the vision of the team. And really, Mickey Loomis is a creation of the administrators above him who refuse to take responsibility of looking at this team and fixing it the correct way. Mickey Loomis is beyond his years as a NFL general manager. They refuse to see that. And he should have turned the general manager position over several years ago to a younger man who has more of an imagination, an ability to maybe add younger or better people in the fold. He is beyond his years. And Mickey Loomis never was a great general manager. Mickey Loomis is more VP than he is general manager. And it goes to show you when Sean Payton left, Mickey Loomis couldn't do a damn thing. He hired the wrong coach, then refused to fire the guy. It took the family base to fire Dennis Allen, and it chapped his ass because he was mad about that. For them to fire, how dare she listen to you over him? So he had to go get Kellen. He gets Kellen down here. The whole debacle with Derek Carr had to go. That went its way. And then, of course, these other players that he signed that didn't fit what was going on. The Juwan Johnson money, paying Juwan Johnson $10 million a year. The Chase Young money, $50-something million a year to Chase Young after several erroneous attempts to draft the defensive end in Isaiah Foskey and Peyton Turner, Davenport. He hadn't paid for none of that. Couldn't take Zach Bond, turn him into anything. Just fumble, stumble after each other. But he never pays for his mistakes. He never does. And when people do bad, he lies and protects them. And this has been the case with Mickey Loomis for a long time. He's a disingenuous, fake elitist that needs to lose his general manager job. But instead, what he does is he hires former general managers to do his job for him. He hired all these former general managers to come in and work and do jobs as the general manager because he is not an active general manager. He's not good at being a general manager. They tell him what to do. He go and do it. That's the best thing that most people, I guess, would want. But in terms of having a real general manager like Philly has, a guy that knows what the team looks like and constantly on their back, that's not that guy. He refuses to give the job up because he's an attention whore. He loves talking to the media and being the face of the team, even though he has 2 effing jobs. There's no reason for him to have these 2 jobs, but for whatever reason, the Saints want to keep him with it. And they don't want to, they're not going to check him. Gail is too busy shopping somewhere or wasting money or buying a new skyscraper. It don't make a difference. She's not handling the business of checking this guy And the president, and by the way, they do have a team president. His name is Dennis Lauscher, who don't know shit about football on the field, allows Mickey Loomis to do whatever he wants to. You got two jackasses on top of the team that don't know nothing about football. One shop and another one sitting on the board of Oshina. And they got Mickey Loomis running the team with two jobs and everybody up under him suffocating. So, I mean, this is a joke. But how do you make them pay? And how do you build the team forward with a guy that had no vision? This I've been saying this for. I've been exposed Mickey Loomis, man. I exposed Mickey Loomis, saying Mickey Loomis, these are stupid decisions. And then he's supposed to be on WWL every week giving interviews. That bastard he ain't been on WWL in 3 weeks. He don't want to listen to what you got to say about the team. He runs and hides all the time. So like I said, man, these people are a joke on the team, and the team is a joke. Is that enough? Is that real enough for you? I mean, how the team gonna go anywhere and the guy on top of the team has no accountability? Or no accountability and no vision. You need both of those to have a good team. How's that work? Your team is 1-5 right now. Let that marinate on now. And Mickey Loomis ain't nowhere to be found. He's supposed to do an interview with WWL every week. I have not heard from Mickey Loomis in 2-3 weeks? Probably longer than that. And basically what he gonna say? He ain't gonna do nothing but come out there and say the same sucker shit he been saying. Oh, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take patience. Hold on now, goddammit. Hold on. It's gonna take patience, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on now. It's too late for this. I already ate and I'm about to go to sleep, and you guys are hold on now. This guy is he's a clown. He's a clown. So anyway, your team is 1-5. I just wanted to make sure you guys realize that. So anyway, listen, fam, that's some of the stuff. Is there going to be a trade? We'll see. He said, only way it'd be a trade is somebody knock his socks off. Hope somebody knock his toupee off. That's what I hope's happen. But anyway, listen, man, this is the bottom line, man. We have this, and guys are not handling their business. But at this point, the Saints, the reality is, if I was the Saints, I would not get rid of Rashid Shaheed. I would definitely keep Rashid Shaheed as my wide receiver. I would definitely reconsider Chris Olave. No disrespect to Chris Olave. They gave up multiple picks for Devon Valley. That was a guy they was trying to incorporate into the offense. It's been 6 weeks, and they have not consistently put Devon Valley into the Saints offense. He's a 6'5" guy that runs a high 4.3 speed, and none of this stuff is working. None of the 4.3 speed, the fast stuff is working because they're too east to west, and not enough verticality is happening with the Saints offense. It's not. And of course, the question is going to come to me eventually, sooner or later, is when do they make a QB change? Q. Well, how's that going to happen? Are they going to make a QB change? At the time, I know it's coming. Sooner or later, they will have to make a change at the QB position, because when you get to the point where you're 1-5, and then you start hearing the players saying that they're rallying and all this stuff is late talk. You're late to the party. What was the rally talk when you was 1-3? When you was 1-2? How about if you was 1-3? 1-4 maybe? You're 1-5 now. And like I said, you're not eliminated from playoff contention. But like I said, I'm gonna say it again. In the 100+ year history of the NFL, there's only been 4 teams that ever went 1-5 to the playoffs. And the Saints don't know what they need to do to fix anything. They keep doing the same thing week after week and wasting time. They keep wasting time doing the same foolishness. They still pre-snap penalty, running it. They're still dropping veterans who want to get paid, expensive veterans still dropping the ball. Guys are missing blocks. Guys are missing tackles. It's just guys are not getting to the quarterback. Guys are losing containment. Guys are calling stupid-ass defensive schemes. Guys are calling stupid-ass offensive schemes, not taking advantage of the team's talent. Time is a waste, and now you're 1-5. So you hear Justin Reed got on the mic and said, we're going to rally. We're not going to all this kind of stuff. Man, miss me with that. What was the rally talk when you was 1-2 and 1-3 and 1-4 and 1? And now you want to rally at 1-5. I'm on my show me game, man. That's what I'm on. You got to show me. Because what only thing the Saints showing me is bad football right now. And it's shit. It's shit. It's shit. Nobody wants to look at that. Nobody wants to look at that. Anyway, if y'all got any commentary, that's basically what I got for y'all tonight, man. Sorry to be humdrum, but I gave y'all some positives stuff early on before I got into the negatives of a 1-5 football team who's up and down. But listen, y'all got any questions right now, throw them in here because I'm about to get my tail up out of here in a little bit. So if y'all got any questions, please feel free right now to throw them in the comment section, baby. Throw them in there ASAP. I'm going to get at you. Paul says Rattler throw them picks at the wrong point of the game. He doesn't need to make a habit of that. And every time the Pats blitz on third down, the Saints never didn't do anything to stop it. The reality is, like I talked about it, man, people got to get this. Listen, whether I like Spencer Rattler, I do like Spencer Rattler. I'm not going to, I've made that very known. I do like Spencer Rattler. Low, my dog, shout out to my dog, Low. He clowns me about saying, like, I like Spencer Rattler. Rattler's he's a cool dude, such and such. And he says, I love Spencer Rattler. He makes fun. He makes he says he clowns me on that. But I do like Rattler, but I like Tyler Shuck too. I think I like the temperament of these young guys because I like they're tough. They got a good mentality, a good head on their shoulders, and most certainly his game does need improvement, just like most of them. But it really hurts when you cannot rely on your veterans. Like if you have if I'm a quarterback in the NFL and I got a freaking safety blanket like Jawan Johnson, are we kidding? The man's security blanket or safety blanket is Jawan freaking Johnson, a guy that fumbles the ball, drops touchdowns, drops catchable balls at time. I mean, he makes some catches here and there, but dog, when the clutch is on, I need you not to fumble. When a clutch is on, when I throw the ball to you in the end zone, I need you to catch the ball, secure it, and come down with it, and don't let the guy punch it out with one hand. I need you not to fumble when we marching on a drive to score to take the game. I need you to block and really put your back into blocking, bro. Don't be doing this half-ass because people know he don't like the block. He a shitty blocker because he really, at times he don't really be really about the blocking. So, man, it's difficult when you have Jawan Johnson doing that and then you have Chris Olave dropping passes, bro. Chris Olave is supposed to be my best wide receiver and he dropping passes, bro. Come on, bro. All I can do is throw you the ball. You got to catch it. You're the veteran. You're supposed to be leading the team. These guys are starters. One of them making $10 million a year. Another one want to get paid. And Chris is making decent money too. Hell, his money next year spikes to like $15 million for that year. In his final year, his money goes up to like $15 million. Come on, bro. If you want to be around, dog, you got to make the clutch catches. I'm not just talking about the little dinky-donky do stuff I throw to you. I'm talking about the clutch moments. You guys got to step up. Veterans letting the man down. But in terms of him seeing the field, if it's different, it's a big difference when you see the blitz versus when you don't. If you see the blitz, you can make the defense pay for blitzing, right? You can make them play. You got to make them pay for blitzing you. If they sending guys in there after you, that mean there are guys out there on that field that's running around for you that are open, and you got to find them and to stand tall in the pocket and deliver the ball with them running at you. And they might get your ass knocked off, but that's what it takes to be an NFL. You want to be an NFL starting quarterback? That's what it take. When you standing in there, like Michael Irvin said, in the midst of pain. That's what it was like Michael Irvin said. In the midst of pain. Shit. That's what you got to do. You got to stand. You got to stand in the midst of pain and deliver the ball. You got to listen to Michael Irvin on that one. Don't listen to him on too much other shit, but in the midst of pain, you got to stand there and you got to deliver the ball. So, I mean, that's a part of the game, man. But, man, listen, it hurt when your safety blanket, I can't even call that dude that, when your safety blanket don't make the catch. your wide receiver, your best wide receiver dropping the passes that you need him to catch. That hurts, man. That hurts a lot, man. He got a tough go of it, man. He got a tough go of it, bro. We need veterans to handle business, not do what these guys been doing. But yeah, he when you see the blitz coming, you got to make them pay, bro. Ain't no doubt about it. You got to make them pay. All right, Uncle Paulie. All right, shout out to you, man. All right, Hemisphere said, I won't hear Juwan Johnson say, well, I didn't make the play. I don't dwell on that. Yeah, Juwan Johnson is full of shit, man. I would, if I could, bro, I would take the money back away from him. I would go and draft the tight end, man. I would literally go into the draft and find me another tight end. Juwan Johnson is not the guy, man. He is not improved. He's still doing the same dumb shit he did last year. And I am sick of Juwan Johnson. He makes too many mistakes, bro. Too many mistakes. If he ain't false starting or having concentration drops or fumbling or dropping the passes at the most intense times of the games, when you can't do that, bro. You can't do that, dog. And they ain't gonna get none of their money back. So, and Mickey Loomis gonna protect them. Yeah, Justin says, what's up? Justin says the costly turnovers and playmakers are not making plays is absolutely killing us. Not to mention hiring your friend as the defensive coordinator is backfiring miserably. All right, thank you, Justin. Good call, man. Hemisphere says they remind me of a group of people looking at each other, arguing who's going to make the play. Yeah, it's not a playmaker amongst them. Everybody just going through the motions and collecting a check. Who's fired up? You see any pissed off people outside of yourself on the field? Anybody pissed off? Listen to what I'm saying. They're a 1-5 football team. Anybody pissed off? Anybody pissed off? Is the wide receivers? Juwan Johnson ain't pissed off. He collecting his check. Too many these check collecting ass dogs that's on this team that we had on here since we had that clown from last year. These people still on this team. They got to go, man. We got to clear these guys out of here, man. Tired of this Juwan Johnson, dude. I'm tired of these drop passes. I'm tired of these excuses. I'm sick of it. This is football. It's a child's game, man. L-Dub says I was about to say that because I haven't heard he's been doing interviews. Yeah, he ain't been on Tuesday. He's supposed to do one with Softball Mike. Softball Mike serving him up he not doing it. He disappears. You won't talk about accountability. This dude posts one of the top ones there. No accountability. Can't stand before you and take blame for the dumb shit he do. These are clowns, man. These are punk ass clowns, man, for real. Mad Drummer says, Q, we could have drafted Igbuka instead of we drafted freaking Broughton, somebody who is out, and Chuck who ain't playing. Well, I mean, it is what it is, bro. I think Vernon Broughton was drafted a little too high. I thought that the Saints took him too high, man. But Vernon Broughton is going to be good for you, bro. He's raw, but he's going to be good for you. I think Coach Bo really wanted the dude and thought they could turn him into something. And I think Vernon Broughton's going to be a good future piece for you. 5 vocals says Q 1-5 and Joanna, man. Joanna, man. Damn, that's cool. Joanna, man, Johnson and Chris Ogava laughing and smiling during the game. Yeah, these guys need to go, bro. They need to go, man. They need to hit it. T4 says if Spencer goes to a different team, watch how good he will become. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spencer Rattler is giving these guys an opportunity. Now, I talked about his conservative nature. He's no longer, I don't consider him a gunslinger. His game is morphed. He's more of, I ain't gonna say he's a game manager, but he's very conservative with the football, right? He goes to the intermediate and the check down a lot. And it's a multitude of different reasons, but really 1 and 2 is the shakiness of the line. The pressure comes, he has to make a call, he comes out, right? And he goes to the intermediate area or to his check down, right? And at times, like there are openings upfield, but it's not registering, right? Unless it's a wide open shot that he look and see. Some of the stuff you got to throw these guys open or just take a gamble. And he is not in the gambling man mode right now. He is in the protect the ball mode. You could tell. He'll throw it out there if he sees the guy and it's not a gamble, but the gamble and throw, like you seen Drake May just hang the ball out there and let guys run up under it. He ain't doing that, man. Because it's the pressure of. of losing your job if you start throwing interceptions. They know they're going to yank them out of there. But the cold-blooded part is even if he isn't throwing interceptions, if the offense is not driving, and it's not all his fault because his guys are dropping the balls around him and not protecting them like they should. He doesn't have a competent tight end safety blanket and not even a steady running attack. Guess what? None of that matters when the time comes. If they keep losing, they're going to pull him up out of there and put the next guy in there. None of that matters. And you say, Q, that ain't fair, but hey, man, it's not fair in the National Football League. Brother Duke says, do you think something is going on with AK-41? A couple of times around goal line, they have been taking AK-41 out, and I don't think AK-41 doesn't want to be taken out. If Elvin gets you down there, I would give him the ball to punch it in. But they've kind of delegated a short yardage rusher, which Kendre Miller is better than Elvin in the short yardage runner. He's more of a powerful running back going north to south on the goal line situations. But they'll even throw Taysom Hill in there. So Kendre Miller or Taysom Hill are now considered the short yardage guys for them. They're more powerful than Alvin Kamara. So you can see them kind of finding a rim, a kind of a room or an ability or a role, better yet, for those players. So, but it also spares Elvin to be used in other ways. You don't have to be a goal line runner. You can line him up like a wide receiver to spread out the defense. We're not doing any of that consistently. It's just too much non-accountability and not looking at everything at all. They just don't know that personnel well enough. Giovanni says, Q, one thing I didn't like was Jawan laughing and giggling with the linebackers who took the ball away. Yeah, Jawan Johnson's I'm really, really not liking Jawan Johnson, man. I really am. I really don't like his game. He's too soft. He's too soft, and it's really sad, and it pisses me off. Jawan Johnson's game, it really pisses me off. It really is, because Jawan, it's no reason for him to be like this. You have jug machines. You can be out there practicing. You can be out there improving your game. And this dude, week after week, is always doing something that's hurting the team. If he's not false starting in his own building, if he's not dropping passes, if he's not missing blocks, if he's not dropping, or when they call upon him in the clutch moments of the game to make a play, it's just one after the other and after the other. And I'm really sick of Jawan Johnson. I really am, bro. I really am. I am tired. I'm sick of Jawan Johnson. I really am, man. And this is one of the things that gave him the money. At first, I didn't think Mickey and them would pay him, but Mickey Loomis sure did. He didn't want to go out and look for nobody else. That's what his big lazy ass didn't want to do. He didn't want to go find somebody else. Duke said exactly, I didn't see no one upset with the losses. It's not as they're accustomed to losing, which is not good. I told you all that, though. I told you, what did I say? What was my words? That something like the Saints are infected with losing from the 4 years they was with that possum. They don't have a winning spirit anyway. They go into these games, and in the clutch moments, they shrink and disappear. They run away from it. Where are these big talking ass people who talk about all this other stuff like a DeMario or Cam Jordan? And Cam get up there and buck his eyes and talk fast and all that type of shit. Where all that at in the middle of the game when it's needed? Where that's at? Who mad outside of you? You always mad. What's wrong with you? You ain't gonna smile and get glad because your team is 1-5? Ain't nobody, yeah? Huh? You always mad. Your ass always mad. Why? Because your team suck. This is bad football. Nobody's smiling when they see garbage football, bro. That's terrible. Nobody wants to see no bad football. Paul says, Q, do you think the Saints will use Taysom and Elvin offense with plays just for them? I consider, I don't know, Uncle Paulie. Nussmeier is terrible, man. Nussmeier had Saquon Barkley last year, and Barkley jumping over people, running and picking up 2,000 yards. He made Nussmeier look better than what he was. But when it come down to you to actually put something together, and then another thing is too, the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles is better than the Saints line. They were able to move people out of the way. Saquon Barkley is a running back that was just doing phenomenal things. He had a very rare year last year. But you have to have guys that blow people away off the line, and the Saints offensive line don't blow or push these defensive players out of the way. They don't resituate the line. I told y'all that. If you look at the Saints offensive linemen, they barely moving guys on the line, which means you're not going to get the big gains that you need. They don't move furniture. It's like they're not strong enough to move some of these guys, and they look the same most of the game, except for the game they put up 150 something yards on. What was it, Buffalo? Buffalo's rush defense was the worst in the game, but they consistently look bad against mediocre lines or middle of the pack lines. It don't matter if it's Arizona line. It don't matter if it's whoever line. They don't blow teams off the line of scrimmage. They don't reshuffle or resituate furniture. They don't do it, do they? Look at the tape. They rarely blow out and push out people, separate people, push them as a collective. They rarely do that. The Philadelphia Eagles, that team move you out of the way. They road graders. They push you out, clean you out, open up opportunities. That's not happening with the Saints. That's why a lot of these runs where Elvin is 1 or 2 or 3 yards of three, it's tough running. Like somebody always grabbing and tripping him up. It's not a clean run where he be able to get through there and cut up there to the second and third levels for a touchdown. You see what I'm saying? Look at the tape. Because it's always somebody missing a block. It's always somebody do something wrong. They don't collectively work, consistently work, drive, or play after play to build momentum so that they can run the ball. So even if people tell you that Rattler doesn't have, and this is the knock, if they don't tell you that Rattler doesn't have a consistent safety blanket in his wide receiver or in his tight end, his tight end is this guy is bullshit. This Jawan Johnson guy can't be counted on in the clutch moments. 2, the wide receivers dropping passes that are veterans, that is some BS. They do not have a consistent running attack that can take the pressure off of him. So he's basically bearing all of that on his shoulders and still has a decent outage in terms of statistics. He's not tearing up the NFL, but he's not hurting the team. He's not taking a lot of sacks, and he only threw 1 interception. He has multiple touchdown throws. So he's not hurting the team, but the pressure's on him to be able to create plays. But if wide receivers catch the ball, don't fumble the ball, don't drop the touchdowns, then you can see things change. The cold-blooded part about it is if they lose again, he going to be pulled out of there for Tyler Shuck. That's the cold-blooded part. And you can blame his, quote, teammates, end quote, for that. And it'll be mighty effed up if they start catching the ball for Tyler Shuck and as opposed to what they did for him. That would be mighty effed up, wouldn't it be? That'll be messed up. All right, anyway, Mad Drum says, Q, I'm going to tell you, you where we need to get when we comes out the Trey Dash Green. From LSU. Yeah, our tight end from LSU, Trey Dash. Yeah, Trey Dash is awesome, man. 6'7", I want to say he is. He played basketball. Yeah, he doing it all, man. I don't know if the Saints gonna look at him, bro. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. L-Dub says you got to thank DA for bringing that losing mentality to the organization over the last several years. They need some bleach from Fabioso and other cleaning to clean that stuff up out of here. That is still here. It's still there. The funk is no accountability. Where the leaders at? Where the captains at? Where are they? Where the captains at? Where are the captains to take onus of this? The team is 1-5, fam. Where the captains at? Where they at? None of them mad. All of them talking like they 5-1. These are losers here, man. I told y'all that these people so delusional, man. And where they are, you're 1-5. They don't understand, hey, man, history is against you here. You've allowed yourself to be in a situation. I didn't do it. I'm sitting up here for week after week telling these stupid ass to stop doing this and focus in these areas to fix it. Because they are not looking in the areas you need. They keep doing the same stuff over and over again. If guys keep making mistakes, you bench them. Where's the accountability? If you got to bench Chris Olave for dropping passes, then bench him. I don't have no problem with that. He did it to himself. That's cause and effect. You don't deserve to play if you're fumbling or if you're dropping passes. I'm not going to put your ass back out there if you're dropping passes, especially ones that keep drives alive or ones that can be converted into touchdowns. We bench players. I don't care who they are. If you drop and pass, your ass will see the bench. You know, and this is what that needs to be something that happens. These people not doing none of that, bro. You can fumble. You get Juwan Johnson fumbled that effing ball, and then he was back out there the next play. He was back out there like, oh yeah, well, listen, there ain't no fumble. We gonna do it again. Nah, man, sit your goofy ass down. We don't need you. Taysom Hill, Foster Monroe, come on. You gonna sit down for the rest of this, man. I don't care if you're making $10 million a season with us. You're gonna see the fold. You're gonna see the bench. Why aren't they doing? Why ain't benching these guys? Because they're not serious. They're not serious about winning. You gotta create that. You gotta bring that back. You can't let goofy ass players fumble and drop passes and think they got the nerve, the audacity to sit up here and talk about they're gonna play the next play. Man, the hell with that. That's on your boy to do that. Yeah, they like Kellen Moore because they can walk all over him. They can walk all over because Kellen's a nice dude. He don't point at you. He ain't rough like me and tough like me. He a nice little guy. He talk to you. He smiles a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Kellen Moore's a good dude. And they can walk, and goofy ass losers can walk all over the man. And that's what they doing. We like Kellen Moore. But they sit up here 1-5. Oh yeah, you like him all right. Yeah, you love him. But you can't play for them to win. You can't give 2 Fs to study harder and work harder to get the W in the game in your hand. You can't develop a mentality of domination as offensive linemen, right? Can't do that, right? Even though they practice nearly every damn day between the games and watch film and they still can't figure it out. If you can't figure it out, fam, let me put it in your ear. They play football for a living. This ain't the first stop for many of these guys been playing since they was on the playground. Till they got to the college and to the pros, man. Come on, what we talking about here? This shit ain't complicated and it ain't hard to do. Come on, man. Let's keep it all the way real, man. Keep it all. These guys don't want to play. Set them on the bench. Trade them. Get rid of them. That's how you change the culture of losing that we've been going through the last 4 years. You bench these guys. You bench them. And there ain't nothing I did. I didn't do them a damn thing. They did it to themselves. The moment you engaged in foolery and dropping passes, not blocking correctly, and not doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to see that effing bench player. I don't care who you are. Paul says, yeah, Q, even McCoy's playing weak. I've said that. He looked terrible this year. He false starting too. How Eric McCoy false starting, family? Let me ask you this. McCoy was the most surefire offensive lineman we have. How he in that false starting and getting penalties too? How McCoy false starting? He's supposed to be the brains and the leader of the offensive line. How Eric McCoy false starting? Y'all ask yourself that? Why is Eric McCoy false starting? These people are full of it, dog. They're full of it. Ain't nowhere in the world McCoy should be false starting, fam. Come on. Think about what I'm saying here. The veterans are letting the team down. And then guess what? When they yank Spencer, them same assholes that was in there blowing blocks and false starting, they're going to keep them in there. And the cold-blooded part about it is they're going to start playing for Shuck. Right? Because it's not as serious. You made a QB change. Ain't that cold-blooded? Watch, y'all gonna see. Smoke says Saints always lose close games. I'm tired of it. Yeah, they lose close games because they're not clutch, bro. Clutch teams win in the clutch. They're not too big for the moment. The Saints are a dumb, weak, non-disciplined team that fall on their faces. They fight up to a point, and then when the clutch moment arrives and say, oh, this is the big money time of the game, they shrink in the face of it. They fumble the ball. They drop it. They allow the quarterback to be sacked. They miss a field goal. They miss a tackle that'll stop a touchdown from happening. They'll miss a tackle that'll allow to stop a guy from getting in field goal range. Stop me when I'm wrong here. We've seen it all. We've seen these people lose a multitude of different ways, but in most of these games, they were in control except for the Seattle game. All these games, the Saints had an opportunity to win, except for the Seattle game where they simply just didn't show up to play. They was too busy all wanting to shop at the same time at Burlington Coat Factory or wherever the hell they go. They all wanted to shop and they said, F football that day, we'll take an L. And they took an L too. It's just it's a goofy ass thing, man. All right. Anyway, Rose says 6 games. Keep doing what you're doing. Definition of insanity. We're going to see, bro. They haven't figured out anything. Gundam says, Five Code, this guy was laughing with the Patriots player that stripped him the ball. Juwan Johnson doesn't want. Juwan Johnson was out of his mind, bro. Juwan Johnson was back there. He hit that turf. They guys grabbed him. He went head first into that turf and got concussed. He didn't even know the ball was out. Go back and look at it. Go back and look at it. He hit that game. He hit that turf. That ain't no grass in there, man. That ain't no grass. That's concrete up under that thing. And that rug ain't that thick. That son bitch hit that thing head first. And when he hit, because they tackled him, they both wrapped him up. He went head first into that turf, into that grass, not that grass, in that artificial turf with that guy. He got concussed. You can see how his head jammed into it. And then when he got up, he rocked. He sat on his butt. He grabbed his helmet and pulled it down and adjusted his helmet. He didn't even know the ball was gone. He made no effort to locate where the ball was because he was out of his mind. I say that guy is concussed, man. And they let him. And the next play, he was standing up there in the huddle. I say these people so full of shit talking about safety in the NFL. This man hit the ground head first. I know what a concussion looked like. I was like, this dude is concussed. But it's all a fraud. It's a fake safety. That man out there, he hit that ground head first. Head first. That some bitch didn't know where the ball was. He didn't know what day of the week it was. Then finally, when he turned around to see what happened, it's a joke. They ain't benching him because Loomis don't want to look stupid for giving that. It don't make a difference, bro. Somebody got to do something, bro. You got to change the culture. You got to change the culture. I'm just saying about the Kellen Moore thing. Kellen Moore is a nice guy, bro. Yeah, he shows his teeth a lot. Yeah, don't he? He smiles a lot. He's a nice guy. Yeah, Kellen's a nice guy. He's just good enough for the Saints losers to step all over him. They feel happy they gave him one win. They ain't winning no games for him in the clutch. None of this. Oh, we just fell a little short. You don't fall a little short, bro, unless you don't extend the effort. That's the truth. You don't fall short unless you don't extend the effort to win. The game is in your hands. It's in front of you. You take possession of the game. It's not given to you. You have to take possession of it. You got to have the balls and the mind and the spine and the fire in your gut to win. You have to have more than your opponent has to win. And this team do not have it. They don't have the intelligence. They don't have the will to win. They don't have the will to want to get better and perfect their craft. This is a check collecting ass team. A lot of these veterans don't want to do their jobs consistently. A lot of these veterans dropping passes and doing all this F stuff. And at the end of the day, they're going to put it on the Rattler. Cold-blooded game we in, man. Paul, I'm about to get on up out of here, man. I'm getting close. Paul said, I got a question. Just what if Coach Moore was quit after the season's end up? What would happen next? They'll just find somebody else to take his place. Nick and Loomis will still be there. All right. What's up, Tay? Shout out to Tay. She said, what up, Q? I need you to send me my entire defense coaches and players. Send this to. Yeah, well, Tay, I've been trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell them, and the Cowboys actually, they're doing a little bit better. Man, the Cowboys are doing better than the Saints. They have some problems. Their problems kind of similar, but then again, not. But if you mention the fire in the belly, oh yeah, man, that's what it's about. You got to have more fire in your gut to win. You have to possess the game. The game, whether it's you're in their building or not, you have to have a will to win. And I don't care. It's like, okay, I don't know what we got to do, but whatever we got to do, we got to do it. We got to get on it, and we got to win. We will win. That's something the veterans supposed to be telling them young people. Them dudes sitting up on their ass running out the clock. Cam and DeMario, them dudes running out the clock. They're non-impactful to what's going on in the game. They're non-impactful. You got to make a decision. You might have to bench these guys. Well, Cam can operate in the reserve role, but DeMario, you might have to bench him. You have to. You got to let younger athletic linebackers take the day. It's no good if you're a 1-5 team. It doesn't do you any good to have DeMario Davis running around out there and the team is 1-5. It just, that makes no sense. He's only valid there if the team is competing and in purpose of winning games. If they're not winning games, he got to be ripped up out of there. He got to let athletic people go and play because this defense is really predicated on speed and we just don't have it. Pete Werner's a mismatch in this defense. He's just not fast. And we need more faster guys that can cover from sideline to sideline. And plus, Pete Werner is missing a ton of tackles, man. Pete Werner ain't never missed these many tackles before. I'm watching the film, and y'all know it. Pete Werner taking bad angles, and he missing tackles, fam. I never seen Pete Werner miss so many tackles before. Never seen it. It sucks, man. Duke says guys are too comfortable. Indeed, that's what I'm saying, man. It causes people has to get shaken up. They have to shake. They got to get shaken up. Mad Drummer says, "I told you it was all of them to get in on the show." I ain't gonna say it's all that, bro. I'm just saying, what if you're saying it? You could be a possible on that, bro. But I'm saying that type of shit don't happen until the quarterback get ripped down. Then when they change up the quarterback, then it goes. I'm not saying they consciously doing this, but I'm saying that's how it goes, period. Like when they make a shift, because changing quarterbacks is a big thing for a team. When you shift from one quarterback to the next, that's a memo in the minds of the offense. Like, okay, damn, it's serious now. It's like a wake up call to the offense. Like this is not working. And the reality is they're not scoring enough points. And that's because guys are not handling their business. But at the end of the day, this is not clutch football. And if you're not playing clutch football, you're just wasting your time, fam. We're wasting our time here. All these statistics, I can read y'all all the statistics. They're all on the wrong side. All the stuff they're supposed to be plus on, they're not doing it. All right, Father Fool says, I think he will improve. Indeed, bro. We got to let these guys press a little bit more, man. Neil says we haven't showed up since DA took the team bowling. And now KM is weaker version of DA with a smile. Wow. Thank you, Neil. Shout out to you, man. That's something else, bro. But people been saying, hey, Q, you know what? This dude sound like the possum. He's starting to say the same thing every press conference. People starting to tune him out. And listen, let me tell you this, fam. This was the thing I was telling y'all about. Like, people will give you, like, the honeymoon. I told you the honeymoon is going to be real short on the honeymoon's going to be real short on KM, on Kellen Moore, because he's coming on the back end of the 4 years of losing by Dennis Allen. So the honeymoon is going to be short. When you come in, people want to see first, a lot of it, they want to see winning football. And if you can't give them winning football, you got to give them competitive football. Like the Saints are just fighting hard, and it just not landing in their favor. This is not what's going on. The Saints are losing these games because they are making too many mistakes. They have too many pre-snap penalties. They are dropping passes, fumbling the ball, missing field goals, missing blocks, all of that. That's in their hands. They're causing all this to themselves. That's unacceptable. And that'll give you a lot of flack. That'll get your ass in trouble quick. If you have a non-competitive team, we know about the Tennessee Titan coach. In his second year, he got canned after a 1-5 start, whatever his name is. They don't even need to even say his name. The Tennessee Titans coach got canned. In a year and a half, he just got the job, last year? He got canned. He didn't even make 2 years. People are not playing around with that, man. Not saying that'll be the role with Kellen, but it does show you that, man, listen, we're not playing. Yeah, Jeremiah says, you notice how when we cross the 50-yard line, that's when the dumb mistakes start happening? Yeah, almost psychologically. because they're losers. Listen, man, I ain't trying to disparage nobody, but I'm just saying when I say losers, this team is not a clutch team. You know, they don't show up when they're supposed to. And blocking, tackling, and catching are fundamental. It don't take scheme for that. When you come in the NFL, you become a wide receiver in the NFL because you can run and you can catch well. In most places, you get higher. Chris Olave, man on stream, could catch well and all this kind of stuff. These guys are not living up to their own standards here. And that's what's really hurting us. If the Saints veterans were catching the ball, Jawaan made the touchdown catch at the end of the game against, it would have tied the Arizona game, forced overtime. Things could have changed. The drop touchdown pass that Chris had in week 2, I think it was, and the drop pass last week, all this other stuff is just too much, man. I just too much to go. It's too many stupid mistakes, even in the first couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, you could say it's rust. But at the end of the day, when you're 1-5 and you 6 weeks in and you still doing the same things you done in weeks 1, 2, and 3, man, miss me with that. Y'all not serious and y'all not taking your job seriously when you're doing dumb shit like that. Yeah, Tanya say these cats just want to dance and look. Yeah, these it's a lot, man. I just really don't like it. Whenever we're in the red zone, they have to call at least one play to the end zone, dial up plays beyond the sticks. We got personnel. If you got a 6'5" wide receiver, he needs to be in there. You got a 6'8" tight end, he needs to be in there. I'm just saying it's a red zone package where you have your tallest players out there, your more athletic players out there. If you're in a red zone, we got Taysom. We're using Rashid Shaheed. We got all these other players. Your playmakers need to be everywhere. The Saints have all of the playmakers healthy. They have Taysom. They have Alvin. They have Rashid. They have Olave. They have Jawaan, if you won't call them that. They got all their playmakers and starters available, and they still can't do nothing better than a touchdown a game or average 18 points a game or whatever it is now. All of their people available. That's scheme. That's the stupid ass offensive coordinator. Can't scheme up to get talent open to make things successful repetitively. I would have to make a change, fam. I wouldn't put up with that if I was Kellen Moore. I would have to change his playmaking ability. I would have to take it away from him. Callahan, there you go. Thank you, OG. Duke says, Q, too many mistakes not playing smart football. The Patriots did simple stuff against us on offense. Because it's just a lot, man. It ain't even really difficult, man. It's just you have to execute. What's up, Jamaica? Shout out to Jamaica. All right. So anyway, fam, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Aaron. I think Glenn has a little bit more room and security there. He won't. I don't think he goes down that fast. But yeah. Jeremiah says also get stuck. Yeah, I'm for that. These guys have to play, man. They have to play, family. They got to play. Tanya says Moore seems to be in over his head for some reason. He is over his head. But the problem is if anything, he's not solving any problems. I mean, you can't let 10 weeks go by before you finally figure out how to run the football. I mean, you got to bench guys. You got to be real on tape. For a long time, Cesar Ruiz was hurting the Saints before he got hurt. He wasn't blocking well. People was beating him consistently, but Kellen Moore, looking at the tape, would ignore Cesar Ruiz's play. The media calling them out, you calling them out. They ignored this play. Even on the film showing the guy getting beat on film. Him not shedding blocks to get to the second level to take on the linebacker. All of that on film. He wasn't doing it. What did they do? Kept his ass in there. He got rolled up on, and then he hurried up and fought back when Torricelli Simpkins started up in there. So they have to be real on film. So if Kellen Moore going to fix anything, he got to stop playing around, man. He got to start challenging his offensive coordinator. That's number one. Don't ask me what I would do. Don't ask me what I would do, because number one involved, I have to separate the losers from the winners, and then I would proceed to go further into the season. I would separate the losing ass players, regardless of what you did for us in the past. If you ain't helping us win right now, I can't use you. I would have to. It has to be a delineation between the winners and losers on my team. I have to find out which guys really want to win. And those will be the guys that ride with me. The rest of these other guys, they're going to get cut or traded if I can get something for you. It's just the reality of the NFL. If you cannot serve the team in a way that's productive, you got to go. That's what it is. It's come down to brass tacks. All the nice shit goes out the window because we won at 5. And listen, y'all ain't seen the worst of it. Wait till the matchups against the Falcons happen. How many wins you think the Saints going to have when you start getting into your NFC South schedule? See, you ain't got there yet. You hear pity-patting around with teams that you should beat. You ain't get to your NFC South schedule yet. You got another couple of games to go before you get to Tampa Bay, who 5-1 in the division. Wait till you see that. How that's going to look. So like I said, man, they can do all they might. You can't run away from the film. They got to be real on the film. I just don't think they real on film. I think a lot of these dudes here, they liking on them, and that's you're not producing. It comes down to producing. You got to produce. You either catch or block or tackle. If you can't do that consistently well, there's no spot for you on this team. And he can still smile and show all of his damn teeth, all the ones way up in the back. He can open his mouth up and show all of them up in there and show all of his damn teeth. At the end of the day, as long as he handling business and putting in benching people who are not playing correctly or dropping passes, as long as he's benching them and guys missing tackles, he can smile and he can show every last one of his damn teeth. That speaks enough. He can open his mouth and show all his teeth like Mr. Ed in this junk, some bitch. At the end of the day, if he benching guys for poor play, man, go ahead and smile. Show them all. He can get a toothpaste commercial, and a toothpaste brand. He can be a sponsor of Colgate as long as he putting them on the bench when they dropping shit and all this kind of stuff. He can do whatever he can want to do. He can smile till the cows go home. You know what I'm saying? All right. What's up, E-Cal? He says, unleash Rattler if you plan on pulling them. Let him go down swinging. I only hope, bro. Are they ignoring bad play and poor talent because it's Mickey's team? More needs to wake up. And yeah, Mickey's going to skirt it. It's Kellen's time. Kellen can't blame Mickey for anything. He hired him to fix it and straighten it out. And Kellen Moore has to do what he knows. He got to keep it real. He got to, if Nussmeier can't get this offense going, he got to find somebody else that does. You see? I told him when he first came in here, you got to do something with that offensive line. I told him that. Jeremiah says the O-line cannot run block for some reason. That's supposed to be a talented group. That's also on the offensive line coach. They look very discombobulated. They don't look confident in what they're doing. And that's why I mentioned Eric McCoy. When last time y'all know Eric McCoy had they look this stink. Y'all crazy, man. I'll make a graphic, man. Kellen Moore showing all his teeth like Mr. Ed. He got a commercial. You have a Colgate endorsement. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be mean. He can continue to smile his ass off. As long as he's benching these clowns, we good. Jamaica says head coach looking like young Dennis Allen. Oh yeah. You have to make his stamp. I'm looking for it. Indeed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he can show all his teethus. That's right, E. He can show. He like to smile, boy. Boy, he can show all his teethus. He like to smile, boy. I mean, a man like to smile, bro. That's all right. Smiling is good. It's just not when we don't. Smiling is good. It's great and it's positive. It ain't good and positive when you're losing on the field or you just fumbled the ball. Or you lose a football game, maybe smiling ain't the best thing to do then because people ain't gonna really want to see you smile. But outside of those times and actually going to a funeral or whatever, maybe you can smile, smile, show all your teethus, show all the teethus. I ain't against a person showing all their teethus, show your teethus, Coach Moore. Because what he do here, he let you see all the back of his goddamn mouth. But it's all right, man. It's all right, man. Show your teethus. It's all right, brother. As long as you putting these guys on the bench, and doing what you're supposed to do, I'm not mad at you on that. All right, Tanya said I would be pissed if I was Cooks having people compare Juwan Johnson to me. Yeah, he had that big like Juwan, indeed, man. You're right, Jack. Like Aaron Brooks would smile after a pick. Yeah, people didn't like that. Jeremiah said Mo has to cover his mouth when he's at a funeral. He's like, man, what the hell you smiling at? Man, this kind of people are mad at him, The guy's a happy guy, you know what I'm saying? He doing the job, he look like a big kid is what he looks like, man. You gotta like Kellen Moore, man. It's just the team is walking over him. Let's just be honest. The team is walking all over. They're not respecting Kellen Moore. They don't even play well for Kellen Moore. They make all these mistakes. Kellen Moore asks them to do stuff. He paying them, speaking up for him, taking the arrows for him every week. And what do? Come out with trash games, incomplete efforts for Kellen Moore. But they supposedly love Kellen Moore, but not enough as he getting walked on. His team is 1-5. It's an embarrassment. And Jesse said, what's up, Jesse? Says, Q, do you think Kellen and the Browns coach have the same offensive mindset? No, I think, I kind of lean more towards Kellen Moore's philosophy. I like what he attempts to do from the past, not so much today. I think Nussmeier and what he got going on is not imaginative. Trying to operate a play action fam without establishing a run is not where it's at. You're not going to be. Let's talk before we leave right quick, fam. I've been talking, but let me just say this. Y'all know, fundamentally speaking, that nobody's going to respect an offense that cannot run the football. If you're trying to play action and you have not established the run, they will not respect it, fam. They won't respect it. You have to be able to run the ball effectively to the point where guys are coming down. They're committing extra members of their team in the secondary to stopping the run, and that's when things open up for you. Then you can start getting their head on the swivel, and then they'll be confused of what you want to do. But teams know that the Saints do not run the ball well enough to be dangerous. So what they do, they play them in a way where they might keep these two safeties in the back. They'll play them up front, and they'll let you get menial gains here or there, and then the Saints hit on a dinky-donkey-do play. They'll play in the zone. They'll hit a pass out to the flat in the hole for 4 or 5 yards, and they'll try to work up the field. But sooner or later, if the Saints operate such an offense without penalties, they can gain success. But the moment penalties, they start getting false starts and drops, they have difficulty recovering from that. So the Saints are not doing enough of the running effectively and consistently to force these teams to play the run like that so they'll be dangerous. Nobody's afraid of the Saints running the football. And they know the Saints are not throwing the ball down the field, family. They know that. And if the Saints hit on a deep pass, it's not enough to scare the secondary or the defense to say, they just hit something. Even if you hit Rashid Shaheed's 80-something yard catch, the defense still is saying, yeah, that's an aberration. That's not what they usually do. That's just out of character. That's a lucky shot because they don't do that. See, they know that you don't operate vertically, that you really lack verticality. So what they'll do is they'll play or junk up the area in which the Saints like to go east or west, anywhere between that 5 to 12-yard window that the Saints like to operate in. They'll commit defensive personnel within that area and make everything difficult. That's why a lot of the offense, when you see the Saints run, they don't have, hit a player right here, and then there's no room for him to move. There's a guy right up on him as soon as he makes the play. Because they know that the Saints like to work within this window. So what's the need of me pushing my safeties way back there? And I know you ain't throwing back there. You see what I'm saying? This is thanking coordinators. I'm adjusting my game plan to your offense, which is high IQ football. I'm not going in there with some scripted shit. I'll script the first several plays offensively speaking. Then after that, I get into reading the defense and figuring out, okay, y'all like to blitz a lot. Let me find a way to pay you back for blitzing and make you suffer for sending all those people in there. And I got guys out here. I will burn you deep for, come on with it. I encourage you to blitz so I can get vertical. Saints not doing that. So these defenses are loading up and they coming after the Saints. Saints not making them pay by taking the shot successfully. They're not doing it. So you'll see a lot of times, why would a defensive coordinator commit safeties back there when the Saints not throwing back there? They're not going to do it. So that's what I'm saying. We're not having that same high IQ football thinking when it comes down to our adversaries or to our ops. We're not having that same thinking. That's real game I'm telling y'all about. It's real game. They know that they're east to west. They have no verticality, none whatsoever. And they took a few shots, but they don't do it enough to scare these people. So they'll continue to play you within that area that I told you about with personnel, making it difficult for you to maneuver the ball. And then when you start making mistakes with stupid ass false starts and drop passes and all that, eventually you will be up out of there. You see what I'm saying? The game is a lot more difficult for the Saints offense because that's how they plan them. But to change the script, you have to get downfield. You have to hit and strike downfield consistently, successfully to back the defense up off of you. That's the reality. From an offensive standpoint, you have to run the ball effectively. You need to go and find a fullback and stop playing games with stupid, weak draw plays where you're not really running the ball effectively and it's not fooling anybody. That's not that little stupid option draw that they run or that little delayed thing that they run. That's not fooling anybody, family. It's not fooling anybody. It's not fooling anybody. It only really worked against the Buffalo Bills because they're the worst rush defense in the league. It ain't really working on anybody. It didn't work on the Giants that well. Giants, it didn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, I mean, in defensively speaking, you need to press more. You got to mix it up. You can't lay back and give them 5 to 10 yards and on zone, that stupid zone playing. You don't have no blitzing going on down there. And then you have quarterbacks that are mobile. And then when the 4 defensive linemen that you pressuring with that failed to contain these scrambling quarterbacks, in which you met mostly all scrambling quarterbacks except for Sam Darnold, and then they're able to leak out, and there is no linebacker there to keep them there. You ever notice that? You know why there's no linebacker there? Because they're in coverage. So you putting all the pressure on the defensive line to contain the quarterback, to pressure him, and then when he leaks out and gets past them, guess what? He got a 5 to 10 to 15 to 20-yard cushion to scramble around and make plays while your linebacker's in coverage. This can't happen. This all has to change, fam. This has to change. And this guy runs this type of shit consistently every week. You can't keep rolling this dumbness out here. Something got to change. Something got to change. It has to change. You can't cover up the weakness of ineffective or non-athletic linebackers. That has to change, man. Hard decisions need to be made. All right. So anyway, he wasn't able to make it. We'll get Popsky back. Yeah, he was at church for the last matchup, and he'll be back next week. So we'll see. Thank you for asking, though. Appreciate you. Jess says, Q, do you think Kellen and the Browns have? No, and like I said, to go back to that, I answered that. I kind of lean towards Kellen, but Kevin Stefanski's, he should have a better take on what's going on with the Browns. He's been there for multiple years. He had an opportunity to install his offense. He had to have a consistent signal caller, and the whole thing, the whole crap this year. He's just a joke, and he's ultimately going to be fired. Him and the guy from the Giants, the ball. These guys are going to get fired this year. They're going to be next. Stefanski and the guy from the Giants, they're going to get canned this year, and they should have got canned last year. They'll get fired this year for certain. It just can't get it together. All right. So anyway, man, that's my take on it. Yeah, that's my take on it, fam. it's just a lot. They have to change a lot, and they have to change a lot to win. And you're not winning, you're not doing anything. You might as well go ahead on and do it. You got to be tough on these guys, man. Being nice to these guys ain't doing nothing but making you a well-liked loser, you know. And it ain't gonna cut it. You know, you ain't gonna keep a job in the NFL because you liked unless you Willie Green, and sooner or later that's gonna run out. In the NBA, you know, Willie Green with the Pelicans. You know, but the reality is, man, it's going to take scheme. It's going to take accountability. It's going to take them benching certain guys. All of that, man, for this turn. You're 1-5. You need to pull out all stops right now. If you're trying to salvage a season and you believe in whatever you think that you're going to do, you need to pull out all the stops right now and hit the buttons. People say it's the panic button. You goddamn right. You smash on the panic button. There's no sense of urgency. They need to smash on the panic button. I was pressing on the urgency button back in week 3 and 4. Now you smash on the panic button because your season is in the verge of not being able to be saved. You're 1-5. You 1-6. You might as well cancel it. You might as well get hit on about your business, man. They need to smash on that button right now, bro. They got to win 4 games in a row to get back to 500. They're 1-5. Like I said, I'm going to tell you again before I leave. This is my last little stuff to y'all. But out of all of the NFL, 100 years of NFL football, since actually the stat goes since 1970 when they merged. Since the merger happened in 1970, there have been 4 teams that went 1-5, that started the season 1-5 and still made the playoffs. The 1970 Cincinnati Bengals, they were 8-6. They lost in the divisional round. The 2015 Kansas City Chiefs, they were 11-5. They lost in the divisional round. The 2018 Indianapolis Colts, they were 10-6. They lost in the divisional round. And the 2020 Washington football team, they were 7-9. They lost in the wild card round. That is the 4 teams that started the season 1-5. And end up going to the playoffs. Not saying that can't be the Saints, but without answers, I doubt it will be the Saints. They need to hit the panic button right now. Yes, it's definitely time to smash the panic button because they're not showing any sense of urgency. They dead men walking. They check collectors. They excuse makers, and they talk a lot. Too much talking and not enough football on the field. They're dumb. They're undisciplined. They have a loser's mentality. They don't want to seize the game. There's too much wrong going on, man, for the Saints. And Kellen Moore just showing them cold gates all day, you know. So y'all let me know how y'all feel. Anyway, that'll be the end of it. This is the Monday after the Saints hit 1-5, the good and the bad. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all do me a service, baby, by hitting the like button. If you're not a sub of, shout out to the fam listening to me on X. If you're listening to me on X, do me a favor. Hit the retweet for this game that we spitting. Let the rest of the Who That's out there know on X that we keeping it real deal. We ain't sugarcoating it. We ain't saying it's not nobody fault and all that bullshit. No, it is plenty of people fault because it ain't my only people is not fault that it isn't. It's your fault. The people that's listening to it. But the guys that's pitching and catching and tackling and all this other stuff, you damn right it's their fault. It ain't my damn fault that they're 1-5. I've been trying to stop this BS. So y'all give me a retweet on that. Y'all give me also a share on YouTube. Share the show on social media, fam. If you're listening to it on Facebook, Instagram, I don't care where you're listening to it from. Share it because we got to get this out here, man. We need to change all this around. Shout out to you, Jet Black. I see you, my brother. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Listen, man, I'm going to holler at y'all. Tomorrow is Tuesday Patreon. We'll be going over the dreaded film. We'll be looking at the offense in particular. We're going to be looking at the offense again. Not so much the defense. We know the defense stinks. But I'm saying we'll be looking at the offense because we're going to try to figure out ways that we need to get this offense together. That's the key to it. We need to figure out what's going on with the offense. We'll take a look at everything on the film tomorrow on Patreon. So if you want to join us, if you're not a Patreon member, look in the link. The link is in the description section and the chat. You can look in there and join us on www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, or you can simply go to our YouTube page and hit the join button, and you'll be able to see the broadcast there as well. We'll be going over this game and watching the film on Patreon, and any other news we'll be looking at too. So we'll see if the Saints make any news. Remember, I think it was last Tuesday. They picked up a veteran cornerback and some other people. Maybe they make moves now. We'll see what's going on, man, as well. And we'll see if Kellen Moore gets a toothpaste deal. They'll find out that on the next episode of the Coma. So with that being said, fam, y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all night. And I shall see you on Tuesday. For the rest of the family members, I'll be back on Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. Much love. Peace. Who that to you?
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
The WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in